And welcome and good morning. And we'll start with the first item on the agenda, which is public comment. So is there anyone from the public with comments for the board? Anyone from the public? Seeing none. Okay. We will move to attendance. Rom,
Present.
Bob Berry,
Present.
Joe Campbell, okay. Patrick Flaherty,
Here.
Scott Gall,
Here, and I think Joe is here. I don't know if he said yes, but it's in the.
yeah, I haven't heard. Okay. Michael Girolamo will return to us. Ajit.
Here.
Is Joe Daniels here for Lauren?
Present.
Great. Rose Kelly.
Here.
Michael has returned. I see. Jan Keeney or Sarah Caro?
I'm here, but connection's bad.
Okay.
I'm here. I can step in if her connection drops.
Okay. Eileen McMurray. Fred North.
Yep, here.
Maura.
Here.
Susan, I think is out. And Brian.
Present.
Great. We have a quorum. So you may have all hopefully seen the agenda and the attachments. So the first item on the agenda today is to go into executive session. So the plan, I will be sharing a separate link to the board so that so that people can stay in this meeting and the executive, the data governing board can move to the executive session link. I know that is a bit confusing, but bear with us. So I'm going to send that now, but in order to move to executive session, we need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Rom, seconded by Fred. Okay, so the purpose of going into executive session is to discuss some data security matters that we've had come up in the last few weeks. So as soon as you get the link, please join that meeting.
We need to vote first.
Oh, right. Good point. Thank you for catching that. So, okay, so we can do this by voice vote and move to roll call if need be. So all in favor of moving to executive session, say aye.
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 Hi.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, great. So now, if you have received the link, and then those from the public and participating agencies who are not on the board, you can stick around and then we will return as soon as the session is wrapped up. So we will see you over there. Thanks, everyone.
This is the all-new Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattress.
I think, Sarah, you are unmuted.
Katie, you're muted.
Of course I am. So thank you, Coral. And thanks everyone for returning and those who stuck around. So we're gonna get back to the agenda. And the next item up are grant updates. So since our last meeting, we've been awarded 2 pretty large grants. One is the WDQI grant through with the Department of Labor, and then the NCER IES grant with the Office of Higher Education. So both of these grants will allow us to do some pretty great work looking at career pathways and the impact of the Roberta Willis Scholarship Program. Scott, Coral, I don't know if you guys want to, Patrick, if you all want to add any other details about the grants.
I'm going to give a brief double shout out to Kathy Marioni for sticking around during the executive session, apparently, because you were still in the meeting when we rejoined, and helping to develop and get the Workforce Data Quality Initiative grant proposal over the finish line, which was done very quickly and was successful. So particularly Kathy, who made it, I don't know if everybody knows, at Department of Labor, is fantastic for this. Thank you. And to everyone at Department of Labor and Office of Higher Education for working through these. These are particularly the IES grant on Roberta Willis is a very long process to go through. So it's not easy to put these applications together. And it's great that they were both successful. It's a testament to the work that everyone's doing and the credibility of the effort overall. And we did, I don't know if Ajit, you want to cover any of it. We also put in an application for the next round of the SLDS funding from Department of Education at the end of June. So we expect some notice about that later this summer before September 30th, I think.
Yeah, all I know is that the full application was received and it's been forwarded to peers for review. So it's actively in the review process at this point.
And Scott's being humble. I mean, obviously, a major credit goes to, Coral, Scott, and his team, in getting this through. So thank you guys for the work that you guys have done. So.
Both grants spanned 3 years, so we will be doing a lot of good work. The WDQI grant, in addition to fulfilling the Office of Workforce Strategy Career Pathways data request, will allow us to explore options for a secure data enclave. So a lot of exciting opportunities with these not data requests, but these grants. Are there any other thoughts or comments about our grants? Seeing none, we can move to the next item, which is the data request summary. I sent a PDF to everybody that is outlining the incoming and in development data requests, those that are in review internally and at the respective agencies, as well as those that are active. We have wrapped up a few data requests in the last month or so. So data request 50, which is looking at post-secondary outcomes. A fellow at the Department of Education is working on this. That data request is currently in analysis. So hopefully we will be able to hear from Julian before we lose him to get an update on his work. Are you raising your hand, Ajit? Okay, go for it.
Raising the real hand, yes. So Julian is, as you know, he's the fellow from Harvard, thanks to Scott, who is situated with us. We actually have him as part of our staff core, if you will. So he has a ct.gov email. He's part of our team, and he's signed the NDA and all that. And he's named in the request, I believe, as well. So I think he's like covered. So we're actually, while the formal, I don't know what the formal is, but while like we're going to have him on our team, if you will, beyond the summer.
Oh, great.
So while his commitment may, whatever, what we initially thought might be ending in the summer, like next week, we're actually going to keep him with us probably till the end of December or January, because what he's doing is not only analyzing stuff, but also helping us build visualization that we'll be deploying through EdSite. And Patrick will obviously share all that with you and OPM and others too, so that we can kind of, institutionalize this work, because the goal is that we want to do this annually, because it's going to be pretty enlightening for us, I think. So
Awesome.
just
That's
wanted to
very
mention
exciting.
that.
Cool. That's very exciting. So looking forward to hearing from him. The data request 42, which is looking at disengaged and disconnected youth in Connecticut, we wrapped up the match for that this week. And so hopefully we will be able to get some idea of what their findings are by the next data governing board meeting. But from what they're saying, the data that they have received thus far is pretty enlightening. So so that sounds good. And then data request 24, which is the Yale request looking at outcomes for kids who applied for pre-K lottery in New Haven. That should be wrapping up soon as well. So we're making some pretty good progress on these data requests. And so please let us know if you are aware of any, or if you want to submit one. We do have quite a few in development. I think that's it for data requests. I don't know if anybody has any questions, comments, thoughts. Okay, then moving on to general updates, I'll throw it to Coral for the data security working group update.
Yeah, so the Data Security Working Group, which is made up of several IT representatives from different agencies, working on developing a data security questionnaire, which we discussed in the last learning session if you were there. To pilot this, we had some of the agencies fill it out. So SDE, CSDU, UConn, and also the Office of Workforce Strategy, and then DEMIS. The due date for that is technically today. So if you haven't submitted it, please do. And then we're going to take the responses that we get back, go through them. Also, please send us any feedback if you're one of those agencies that filled it out. We're going to go back to the working group and go through the feedback and the responses, refine it, and then hopefully be able to share it out for kind of a broader pilot for all of the agencies, and also get more feedback. And hopefully that will be done soon.
Any questions about the questionnaire, data security work group, anything? Okay, so then the next item is the data matching work group.
So we've explored a bunch of systems that are federated and how they're doing data matching. We've done an overview of our own system and done a walkthrough of our software. And we've talked about, again, other systems and the techniques and softwares that they're using to do the matching. Next month, we're doing a touch point just to revisit a list that we initially made about what we would want and need out of a software. Now that we've seen a bunch, like, let's just revisit it and see if this still stands true. And then moving forward, we'll start to explore what options seem feasible for us.
Any thoughts or questions? If you're not on either of those working groups and want to join them, please let us know. We are happy for you to participate. And then I guess, Scott, do you have any other general updates?
The one thing that I was thinking we could go over is we are tabling the dry run, I believe, which I don't think we have discussed. So I don't know if either of you, Ashley or Katie, if one of you wants to describe, review that. I think that you got a lengthy email from Ashley, right, about this.
Yeah, I can talk about that quickly. So just based on recent events and us revisiting our data matching process, we figured it doesn't make sense to test out a system that we are looking to update in meaningful ways. So once we make those updates, we think this is a good way to test that those updates do in fact work. So the dry run will be put on hold until we, again, update our data matching process.
Okay.
Which again, like hopefully that's in the next month or so. Our goal is to be able to wrap up the reporting on the security incidents within the next month, and so we can get something back to you and try and test something. So that we are putting the dry run on hold briefly, but not forever. So we'll, and again, like Ashley said, it's a good way to test something out and be like, does this really work? So a lot of times something sounds like it works on paper, it does not work in real life, and that's where we are committed to testing things out to make sure that these things actually do what we intend them to do.
And then the last item is other business. So do members have anything that they would, is there anything that you would like to address? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Do we need a vote to adjourn? We do? Okay, so all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 All right. Any opposed, say nay. Okay, it is 9:18.
I like you guys want to stick around. So.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thanks.
See you. We'll see you.
Take it easy.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.